The room was filled with laughter. Crystal glasses clinked. Soft music floated through the air. The kind of night people dress up for, and remember forever. Then the boy's fork slipped from his hand. At first no one noticed, until his head tilted forward, and his body went completely still. Panic ripped through the elegant restaurant. A father screamed his son's name. A woman gasped in horror. Chairs scraped back. But what no one realized yet was that this wasn't an accident. And the only person who saw the truth was the waitress standing just a few steps away. Stay with me, because what she witnessed would expose a betrayal so dark, it would leave everyone in that room frozen in shock. Ethan Marshall had everything. A successful tech company. A penthouse overlooking the city. And tonight, a celebration. Across the table sat his 7-year-old son Noah, swinging his legs under the chair, grinning from ear to ear. Next to Ethan sat Vanessa, his fiancée. Elegant. Beautiful. Poised. She wore a soft smile and rested her hand gently on Ethan's arm. To everyone watching, they looked like the perfect family. This dinner wasn't just a meal. It was a milestone. Ethan had officially introduced Vanessa to his closest friends and business partners as his future wife. The restaurant was one of the most exclusive in the city. White tablecloths, candlelight, and waitstaff trained to move like shadows. Among them was a young waitress named Lena. She had been working there less than a year. Quiet. Observant. The kind of person who noticed details others missed. And tonight, those details would change everything. Lena approached the table carrying a silver tray. Steaks plated to perfection. A smaller dish prepared especially for Noah. As she placed the child's meal down, she noticed something odd. Vanessa leaned forward. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, sweetie," Vanessa said softly, "let me help you." She picked up a small glass vial from her clutch, so quickly that anyone not watching closely would have missed it. Lena froze. Vanessa tilted the vial just slightly, and tapped it over Noah's plate. A fine powder disappeared into the sauce. Vanessa slid the vial back into her purse. No one else noticed. No one, except Lena. Her heart skipped. Maybe it was seasoning? Maybe medication? But something about the way Vanessa looked around, quick, sharp glances, made Lena's stomach twist. She opened her mouth to speak, then stopped. This was a high-profile table. Powerful people. And Lena was just a waitress. She stepped back, unsure, her pulse racing. Dinner continued. Ethan laughed at a joke from a colleague. Noah took a bite of his food. Vanessa watched him closely. Too closely. Lena hovered nearby, pretending to wipe a spotless counter, her eyes glued to the table. Noah chewed slowly, then paused. "Daddy," he murmured. Ethan turned. "What is it, buddy?" "My tummy feels funny." Vanessa reached out quickly. "It's probably the rich food," she said sweetly. "Just take a sip of water." Noah did. Then his fork slipped. The sound of metal hitting porcelain echoed louder than it should have. Noah swayed. Ethan stood up instantly. "Noah?" The boy's eyes rolled back. His body slumped forward. The chair tipped. Ethan lunged, catching his son before he hit the floor. "Call an ambulance." Ethan shouted. The restaurant erupted. A woman screamed. A waiter dropped a tray. Someone knocked over a chair. Vanessa stood frozen. Her hand covered her mouth. "Oh my God," she whispered. But Lena saw it. Behind the shock. Behind the act. Vanessa wasn't panicking. She was calculating. Lena's fear snapped into clarity. She ran forward. "No," she screamed. "Stop." The entire restaurant fell silent. She pointed at Vanessa, her voice shaking but loud. "She put something in the child's food." Gasps exploded across the room. Ethan looked up, wild-eyed. "What did you just say?" Vanessa spun toward Lena. "You're lying," she shouted. "How dare you?" Lena didn't back down. "I saw you," she cried. "You poured something from a vial into his plate." The words hung in the air like thunder. Vanessa's face went pale. "This is insane," she snapped, turning to Ethan. "She's trying to cover her mistake. Maybe the food was bad." Ethan looked between them, his unconscious son in his arms, the trembling waitress, the woman he planned to marry. "Vanessa," he said slowly, dangerously calm, "open your purse." The room went still. Vanessa laughed nervously. "You can't be serious." "Open it." Her hands shook as she unclasped the purse. Inside, lipstick, phone, keys, and a small, clear vial. The label was partially scratched off. Lena's knees nearly gave way. "That's it," she whispered. A doctor at a nearby table rushed forward. He examined Noah quickly. His pulse is weak, the doctor said. This looks like poisoning. Vanessa staggered backward. No, I didn't mean. Ethan's head snapped up. You what? Tears streamed down Vanessa's face. I didn't want to hurt him, she cried. I just needed him out of the way for a little while. The room erupted again. Out of the way, someone whispered. Between sobs, the truth came pouring out. Vanessa had always resented Noah. The attention. The inheritance. The bond Ethan shared with his son. She wanted a fresh start. A clean life. I knew you'd never marry me if he was always between us, she sobbed. Lena felt sick. Ethan felt something inside him shatter. You poisoned my son, he said hoarsely. At our engagement dinner. Sirens wailed outside. Paramedics rushed in. Noah was lifted onto a stretcher. Ethan rode with him, holding his hand, whispering prayers through tears. Police escorted Vanessa out in handcuffs. She didn't look back. The restaurant remained frozen, a room full of witnesses to a nightmare. Lena stood shaking, unsure if she had just saved a life, or ruined one. Hours passed at the hospital. Doctors worked tirelessly. Ethan paced the hallway, replaying every moment in his mind. The powder. The smile. The silence. Lena sat alone on a bench, her apron still on, hands clasped tightly. She hadn't gone home. She couldn't. Finally, a doctor emerged. He's stable, the doctor said. We got to him in time. Ethan collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Ethan walked over to Lena. He stopped in front of her. And then he did something unexpected. He knelt. If you hadn't spoken up, he said, voice breaking, my son wouldn't be alive. Lena shook her head, tears falling. I almost didn't say anything, she admitted. I was scared. Ethan looked at her firmly. You saved my child. News spread quickly. Vanessa was charged with attempted murder. The engagement ring became evidence. The fairy tale life vanished overnight. Ethan canceled everything. He focused on one thing only, his son. Lena tried to return to work. But her life was about to change too. Weeks later, Ethan invited Lena to his office. She was nervous. I want to help you, Ethan said simply. Medical bills. Legal protection. A scholarship. You didn't just save my son, he told her. You reminded me what courage looks like. Lena cried. No one had ever fought for her before. Months passed. Noah recovered fully. He asked about the nice lady who shouted. She's a hero, Ethan told him. Lena started school. She smiled more. Laughed again. The nightmare slowly faded into a lesson neither would ever forget. 3 years later. A charity gala filled the same city with light and laughter. Ethan stood on stage with Noah by his side. He gestured toward a woman in the crowd. This, he said, is Lena? The woman who chose courage over silence. The room erupted in applause. Lena stood overwhelmed. Noah waved at her. She waved back, smiling through tears. Sometimes danger wears a smile. Sometimes evil hides behind elegance. And sometimes, the bravest hero in the room is the one who refuses to stay silent. If this story moved you, like, subscribe and share. Because one voice can save a life. And someone out there might need to hear this today.